No one remembered when he first showed up, and that was the strange part. In a city where everyone was watching something, he arrived unnoticed. The gym was old. Not the shiny kind filled with mirrors and cameras. It smelled like sweat, rust, and bad decisions. This was a place where people came to survive, not to show off. He walked in quietly one evening wearing a plain black hoodie, slim build, head down, no confidence on display. He didn't look like a fighter, and the regulars barely glanced at him. They were too busy admiring Marcus Kane. Marcus was loud in every way possible. Tall, wide-shouldered, covered in scars he loved to talk about. He laughed like the room belonged to him. 3 wins in a row, Marcus said loudly while wrapping his hands. Anyone else want to learn what pain feels like? Laughter followed. The quiet man didn't react. He walked past the ring, past the lockers, and sat on a bench near the wall. He unlaced his shoes slowly, carefully, like time didn't matter to him. Coach Ramirez noticed him. Ramirez had been around fighters long enough to recognize patterns. Fear looked one way, ego looked another. This man looked like neither. You training? The coach asked. The quiet man nodded once. Name? A pause. Eli, he said. Just Eli? No last name. You got experience? The coach asked. Another pause. A little? That was it. Marcus overheard and smirked. A little? He laughed. Coach, we handing out trophies for honesty now. More laughter. Eli didn't look at him. Ramirez studied Eli's eyes. They weren't nervous. They weren't excited. They were calm to calm. Wrap your hands, the coach said. Warm up. We'll see. Eli trained alone while others sparred. Loudly shouting and celebrating every hit, he moved quietly in the corner. His punches were controlled. No wasted motion. No flashy power shots. Just precision. Marcus watched from the ring. Hey, quiet boy, he called out. You allergic to the ring or something? Eli didn't answer. Marcus jumped down and walked closer. Gym rules, Marcus said. Circling him, if you're here, you fight. Eli stopped punching and turned slowly. I didn't say I wouldn't, he replied. The room went quieter. Marcus grinned. Good, because I'm bored. Coach Ramirez stepped in. Not today. Marcus scoffed. Come on, coach, you see him. He needs a lesson. Eli looked at the mat. Tomorrow, he said calmly. Marcus laughed. Tomorrow. Then, that night, Eli walked home alone. City lights flickered overhead, casting long shadows that danced around his feet. The city was a beast, always hungry, always watching. But Eli moved through it like a ghost untouched. He didn't live in a fancy apartment. His place was a small, bare room above a closed-down laundromat. There were no decorations, no signs of a life lived, just a mattress on the floor and a single window looking out onto a brick wall. This wasn't a home, it was a hiding place. He sat on the edge of the mattress and pulled out a small, worn photo. A woman and a young boy smiled back at him. He traced the boy's face with his thumb, his expression unreadable. He wasn't just fighting for survival in a gym, he was running from something much bigger. The next day, the air in the gym was electric. Word had spread. The quiet new guy was stepping into the ring with Marcus. The regulars gathered, eager for a show. Marcus was all smiles, bouncing on his feet, soaking in detention. Time for your lesson, quiet boy, he shouted as Eli stepped through the ropes. Eli's face was a mask of calm. He didn't look at Marcus. He looked at the canvas, at the ropes, at the space between them. The bell rang. Marcus charged forward, a blur of aggression, throwing wild, powerful hooks meant to end the fight quickly. Eli moved. He didn't just dodge, he seemed to disappear. Reappearing just out of reach, it was like watching a shadow dance with a storm. Frustration started to build in Marcus's eyes. His big shots were hitting nothing but air. The crowd's cheers turned into murmurs. Stand and fight, Marcus roared, his breath heavy. Eli didn't respond with words. He responded with a single, perfectly timed jab. It wasn't powerful, but it was precise. It snapped Marcus's head back. Another followed, and another, each one landing with surgical accuracy. They weren't knock-up punches. They were messages. The fight was happening on Ellie's terms now. He was dissecting Marcus, piece by piece, with a calm that was more terrifying than any rage. Marcus, the gym's king, was being completely dismantled. The laughter was gone. The arrogance was gone. All that was left was the slow, rhythmic sound of Ellie's leather gloves meeting Marcus's face, a quiet man finally making a very loud statement. And as the final bell was about to ring, everyone in that gym knew they were witnessing something far more than just a fight. They were witnessing the arrival of a ghost from a past no one could have imagined. What happens next will change everything. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss part 2. Thanks for watching.
Eli didn't notice the man at first, and that was the point. He was already 3 blocks away from the gym when he felt it, that familiar sensation of being watched. Not fear, awareness. He slowed his pace slightly. The footsteps behind him didn't. When the man finally spoke, his voice was calm and practiced. "You fight like someone who's been paid before." Eli stopped walking but didn't turn around. "I don't fight anymore," he said. The man chuckled softly. "That's funny, because what you did in there looked very professional." Eli turned. The man was well-dressed, to clean for the neighborhood, standing under a flickering streetlight like he belonged somewhere else. "My name's Victor," the man said. "I represent people who appreciate talent." Eli adjusted the strap on his bag. "I'm not interested." Victor smiled. "Everyone says that before they hear the number." Eli stared at him for a long moment. "I'm done," he said, then walked away. Victor didn't follow. He didn't need to. 2 nights later, Eli woke to a knock on his door. Not loud, not urgent, confident. Eli stood slowly, checking the room out of habit. Nothing out of place. He opened the door. Victor stood there again, this time holding an envelope. "You left the gym before we could talk properly," Victor said. "I figured you'd be more comfortable at home." Eli didn't reach for the envelope. "You shouldn't be here," Victor shrugged. "You shouldn't be fighting in public gyms." He slid the envelope forward. "Just look." Inside were photos. Grainy, dark, unmistakable. Eli in places he hadn't been in years. Underground rooms, blood on the floor, faces he hadn't thought about since he buried them in memory. His jaw tightened. "You've been busy," Eli said. Victor nodded. "We like to know who we work with. And who we don't." Eli closed the envelope. "I'm not that person anymore." Victor's smile faded slightly. "You never stop being that person. You just stop getting paid for it." Victor explained it simply. Private fights, no cameras, no rules, high stakes, high rewards, one fight. Enough money to disappear for good. Eli laughed quietly. "That's what you told the last guy." Victor met his eyes. "No, the last guy wanted more. You don't strike me as greedy." Eli hesitated. "That was the mistake," Victor noticed. "Tomorrow night," Victor said, "come watch. No commitment. If you walk away, I won't bother you again." Eli didn't answer. Victor left the envelope on the table and walked out. Eli didn't sleep that night. He sat on the edge of his bed staring at his hands. The same hands that had ended fights before they began. The same hands that had ruined lives, including his own. By morning, the decision was already made, even if he refused to say it out loud. The location was beneath an abandoned factory on the edge of the city. The kind of place the city forgot on purpose. Eli followed the sound of bass through concrete halls until a steel door opened into a different world. A ring at the center. No ropes, just steel posts and concrete floor. Men and women circled it, betting, drinking, watching like predators. This wasn't sport. This was business. Victor met him near the edge. "Just observe," he said. "See if it calls to you." The fight began without ceremony. 2 men entered the ring. No gloves, no ref. It was violent and fast. One man didn't stand back up. The crowd didn't care. Eli felt his pulse remain steady. That scared him more than anything else. Victor leaned in. "You recognize the feeling," he said. Eli didn't answer. His eyes were locked on the ring. He noticed details others didn't. Balance, timing, fear, weakness. He knew exactly how he would end the fight if he were in there. That knowledge sat heavy in his chest. The next fight was worse. Blood pooled on the floor. Someone laughed. Someone else cheered. Eli turned away. "This isn't what I do," he said. Victor nodded. It was. He handed Eli a card. An address, a time, one fight, Victor said. "Win, and you walk with enough money to never look back." Eli looked at the card, and "If I lose," Victor smiled again. "Then you won't have to worry about anything." Eli left without another word. Outside, the city air felt thinner. He walked until his legs burned, until the noise faded. But the ring stayed in his head, the rhythm, the silence before impact. The next day at the gym, things were different. People looked at him now. Whispers followed him. Marcus sat on a bench, jaw tight, eyes burning. "You embarrassed me," Marcus said as Eli passed. Eli didn't stop. "You got lucky," Marcus continued. Eli paused and turned. "No," he said calmly. "You got loud," Marcus stood. "Fight me again." Eli shook his head. "I don't fight for free." The words surprised even him. Coach Ramirez watched from across the room. He waited until Marcus stormed off before speaking. "People like you don't just pass through places like this," the coach said. Eli met his gaze. "I'm trying to." Ramirez sighed. "Whatever you're running from has sharp teeth." Eli picked up his bag. "I know." That night, Eli returned to the address on the card. The building was smaller, quieter. Inside, the ring waited. One opponent. Bigger, meaner, scarred. Victor stood nearby. "This one's yours," he said. Eli removed his hoodie. The crowd leaned in. The opponent smiled. "Hope you're worth it," he said. The bell didn't ring. The fight started when the other man charged. The first hit landed on Eli's shoulder. He didn't flinch. The second grazed his jaw. He adjusted. Everything slowed. The noise disappeared. Instinct took over. He moved, struck, countered. The crowd roared. The opponent swung wildly. Eli ended it with a single, precise blow. The man collapsed, gasping. Silence fell. Then cheers. Victor approached, eyes bright. "Welcome back," he said. Eli stared at the man on the floor, then at his own hands. Blood dripped onto the concrete. He felt nothing, and that terrified him. Victor handed him a stack of cash. "First of many," he said. Eli took it, then turned to leave. "You said one fight," Eli said. Victor nodded. "And you won." He leaned closer. "But now they know your name." Eli paused. "I never gave it to you." Victor smiled. "We already had it." As Eli walked out, he realized the truth. He hadn't escaped his past. He'd stepped back into it. And this time, the ring wasn't letting go. The money didn't change anything, and that was the problem. Eli left the building with his pockets heavy and his mind empty. The cash felt like an insult, like payment for reopening a door he had sealed with blood years ago. By the time he reached his apartment, the city was waking up. People heading to work, unaware that below their feet, men were breaking bones for entertainment. Eli washed his hands until the water ran cold, but the feeling wouldn't go away. Victor didn't give him time to think. The next message came the following evening. A location, a time, no greeting, no explanation. Eli stared at his phone for a long moment before putting it face down. He told himself he could walk away. He told himself one fight didn't mean anything. He didn't believe it. The second underground fight was bigger. The crowd was thicker, louder, meaner. Eli noticed new faces this time. Men in tailored suits standing away from the noise, watching with cold interest. Investors, not fans. Victor stayed close, speaking softly into their ears, selling something more valuable than violence, control. Eli's opponent was younger and faster, desperate in a way that made him dangerous. The fight lasted longer. Eli took hits. He tasted blood. The crowd loved it. When it ended, the man lay unconscious and Eli stood over him, breathing steady. Applause followed him like a curse. Victor smiled like a man collecting debt. "You're waking something up," Victor said afterward. "People are asking about you." Eli didn't respond. "That's not always bad," Victor continued. "Attention creates opportunity." Eli met his eyes. "Attention gets people killed." Victor's smile thinned. "Only when they don't know how to use it." The gym changed too. Marcus trained harder, angrier. He watched Eli like a hunter. Coach Ramirez noticed the bruises Eli didn't explain. "You're fighting again," the coach said one night. It wasn't a question. Eli nodded. Ramirez's expression darkened. "That road doesn't end well." Eli wiped sweat from his face. "None of them do." Ramirez shook his head. "This one ends in a hole." Eli paused. "I've been there." Victor's offer grew. More money, better opponents, shorter recovery time. Eli said yes without realizing when it happened. He told himself it was temporary, that he was building something, but the truth was simpler. The ring was honest. It didn't pretend to be anything else. Then Victor made a mistake. He brought up the past. "You fought under a different name once," Victor said casually as they watched another match. "Different country, different rules." Eli's jaw tightened. "You said one fight." Victor shrugged. "Plans change." Eli turned to him. "You promised." Victor met his gaze. "I never promise."
The call came at dawn, not from Victor, from a number Eli didn't recognize. "You've caused a disruption," a calm voice said. No threat, no anger. Authority didn't need either. "You're invited to explain yourself." Eli didn't ask where. He already knew. The old shipyard. Beyond the city limits, that's where things ended when they needed to disappear. Eli arrived alone. Fog rolled in from the water, swallowing the lights. Men waited in silence, spaced evenly, professionals. No crowd, no cheers, just consequence. At the center stood a man older than Victor, thinner, with eyes that had never needed to raise their voice. "I am Calder," he said. "You broke our balance." Eli nodded. "You broke mine first." Calder studied him. "You were meant to be an asset." Eli met his gaze. "I was meant to be free," Calder motioned, and a screen flickered on. Footage played. A younger Eli in a foreign ring years ago. A fight gone wrong. An opponent who didn't get back up. A ref screening. Chaos. The moment Eli stopped fighting, "You disappeared after that," Calder said. "We cleaned it up." Eli's fists clenched. "You buried it." Calder smiled faintly. "We protected you." Eli shook his head. "You own me." Calder leaned forward. "Ownership is protection." Calder offered a choice. One final fight. Public, controlled, a spectacle that would restore order. Win, and Eli would be erased permanently. Lose, and the story would end anyway. Eli laughed quietly. "You think this ends in a ring?" Calder gestured to the shadows. "It always does." Eli stepped forward. "Then you've already lost." The fight didn't start with a bell. Calder's champion moved first. Faster than expected. Trained for killing, not winning. Eli adapted, body screaming. Instincts sharp. Every strike carried history. Every block remembered pain. They fought through fog and steel, across concrete slick with mist. Men watched but didn't interfere. This wasn't entertainment. This was judgment. Eli took a hit that dropped him to one knee. Memories flooded back. The night he killed a man by refusing to stop. The promise he made to never fight like that again. He stood, not with rage, with control. He ended the fight not by breaking the man, but by taking his balance, his breath. his will to continue. The champion fell and stayed down. Silence returned. Calder exhaled slowly. You've proven your point. Eli shook his head. I proved yours wrong. Calder studied him for a long moment, then nodded to the men. They stepped aside. Go, Calder said, but understand this. Violence always finds its way back. Eli turned to leave. Not when you stop feeding it.